Welcome to episode 17 of the All for Our City podcast. Today I will be talking about Brent Richards, Christiano Francois, Reno at Portland, Reno at Las Vegas, Group A standings, power rankings, Reno's upcoming game with Tacoma, upcoming Group A games, and what's going on with the eUSL. To 1868 news, Brent Richards' goal in Las Vegas is up for goal of the week. Congrats to him. I will be talking more about that later in that game review later. Christiano Francois is the USL Player of the Week. That was announced on Tuesday, I believe. He showed amazing effort in both games this week. I'm really happy for him. I'm happy to see our team doing so well. Getting into what's going on the pitch, Reno 1868 FC took on Portland Timbers 2 last Wednesday. That game was in Portland. The game was pushed back from Saturday to Wednesday, or Sunday to Wednesday, sorry. Reno was going into the game looking to get back on top of Group 1. Or Group A, sorry, I don't know why I put that as Group 1, it's Group A. Portland was trying to win their first game of the season going into this one and put themselves in a spot where they could compete for a playoff berth. Reno started off strong with a chance in the 4th minute. Reno would have to wait until the 40th minute to score. Christiano Francois scored a beautiful goal. It was an incredible strike. He went around multiple Portland players. He took the shot from outside the box. He put it up in the right. He put it in the top right corner. I can't believe it wasn't up for goal of the week. Reno scored early in the second half at just 52 minutes. They scored the game's second goal. Sergio Rivas scored off a shot that I didn't think was going to go in. It didn't look like the hardest shot. It went past multiple Portland players. It stayed on the ground the whole time and managed to beat the keeper. The only explanation I have for why that went in is none of the Portland players were expecting the shot, not even the goalkeeper. Portland finally got on the board in the 73rd minute. They just managed to put a header into the net. Foster Langsdorff scored in the 82nd minute. His goal pretty much put the game out of the reach of Portland. Max Ornstill, I think that's how you say his name. I hope that's how you say his name. Of Portland, got sent off in the 83rd minute. He had received his second yellow card, and that's why he was sent off. Foster Langsdorff ended up drawing a foul inside the box in the 89th minute, so he had like a crazy game. Reno got a penalty kick out of that one, and then Christiano Francois scored on the penalty kick. Reno definitely picked up the energy for this one. Their speed was really on display in this game. Reno was not only able to hold their lead but build on it. After Portland scored their first goal, it looked like they might be building momentum. At a couple points, it seemed like they might tie the game. Reno's response was to sit back, play a little defense, and wait for the right opportunity to attack. That ended up paying off. Reno won because they played with better energy. They found more ways to score and created more scoring chances than they did in Sacramento. We got to see Eric de la Cerda in net for the first time. He did a solid job. He almost walked away with a clean sheet. Right now, Reno has 2 goalies who can play at about the same level. That's really good news for the team. The level of play of both keepers have displayed right now is like, why aren't they in the MLS? I mean, I think that they're doing really well, if not better than some of the MLS keepers. Even some guys like Matt and JT, I think they're right on par with being right where those two guys are. Overall, I think the Portland game is the best effort we've seen from the team so far this season. They did a lot right. They were in control the whole time, pretty much. They improved on what they needed to improve from their last game in Sacramento. They got the win, and I don't think there was much, or is much really, that you can ask more of them. Following the game in Portland, Reno went to Las Vegas to take on the Las Vegas Lights FC for the first match of the 2020 Silver State Cup. Up to that game, Reno was 3-0-2 all time versus Vegas. Reno has never lost to Vegas going into that game. Reno didn't let Las Vegas score a single goal in 2019. Both of those games were clean sheets for Reno. Going into this match, Raul Mendiola signed with Las Vegas. He played for Las Vegas back in 2018. He was their number one scorer. He played for Reno in 2019, and then prior to the start of this season, he signed with San Diego. He is now back in Las Vegas. I'm not really quite sure how that worked. I don't know how long the contract was in San Diego, or if San Diego terminated his contract and then he went to Las Vegas, or how that all worked out, but he is back in Las Vegas. Reno was fresh off their win in Portland. Las Vegas was coming off of a loss to San Diego, which Raul was playing for San Diego apparently in that match. Reno didn't waste any time getting back to playing how they did in Portland. They brought the speed and energy back. Reno would score the game's only goal in the 18th minute. Reno won a free kick. Christiano Francois took the free kick. He was able to find Brent Richards in the middle of the box. Brent made an amazing jump to get over everyone. He was able to get the ball off of his left foot, not his head, and put the ball in the back of the net. It was obviously a beautiful set piece, and I really liked the effort from everybody on that one. The fact that he got the ball with his foot and not his head shows what an incredible effort it was from Brent. That goal is currently nominated for Goal of the Week. Go vote for that if the voting is still up. You can find it on like Twitter, Facebook, or the USL website. I liked how Reno was building on what they did in Portland. Reno got their first clean sheet of the season, which is nice. Reno just kept the ball rolling from Portland into this game. Reno didn't change much. I mean, they kept the same starting 11, and I'm pretty sure they had the same subs. I liked how it was pretty much, it worked in Portland, so let's just do it again. It did look like fatigue was setting in towards the end of the game. It's understandable, though. The team traveled from Reno to Portland, played a game in Portland, went back to Reno after the game, headed to Las Vegas the next morning, played in 110 degrees in Las Vegas, all from Tuesday to Saturday. So playing two games within 5 days will cause fatigue no matter what. I mean, you could be playing two games on the same field, but if you're playing within 5 games and you're given 110% and it's soccer, you're going to, with that big field in soccer, your fatigue is going to set in. But they traveled over 15,000, or what, 15, not, it's not 15,000, but it's 1,500, there we go, that's the number. They traveled over 15,000 miles and played two games in 5 days, so that's just crazy right there, and that's probably more why the fatigue set in. It was a lot of traveling and a lot of playing within a short amount of time. I mean, most of the guys played both games, and if you play both games, then that's 180 minutes. So that's insane. If you play the entirety of both games, it's 180 minutes. So fatigue was understandable. But it has been 680 plus days since Las Vegas has scored a goal on Reno. Moving forward, Reno just needs to continue to do what they've done in these two games. Looking at some Group A results this week, Tacoma beat Portland on Monday, 4-0. There were 6 yellow cards in that game. Portland still hasn't won a game in 2020. Sacramento versus Orange County was postponed. They canceled that one 15 minutes before kickoff last week. They postponed it because Sacramento played LA Galaxy 2. Following that match, multiple people on LA tested positive for COVID-19. LA has not played a game since their 1-0 win over Sacramento. LA announced Tuesday, too, that their game on Friday will be postponed as well. And then last Saturday, Sacramento did end up playing with San Diego, and they ended up drawing with San Diego, and that's going to help Reno, I think, in the long run with the Group A standings, and it's going to help Reno win Group A, I think. I think every point, especially with the shorter season, I think every point is so valuable, and I think every point is so valuable, and I think that that's going to come back to haunt Sacramento. Looking at the current Group A standings, Reno 1868 FC sits in first with 9 points in 4 games. Tacoma Defiance has grabbed third with 7 points in 5 games. Sacramento Republic FC fell down to third with 6 points in 5 games. Tacoma's not in third. I don't know why I said they were in third. They're in second. Tacoma's in second. Sacramento's in third. They dropped down to third. They only have 6 points in 5 games. And then the Portland Timbers 2 still sits in last with 0 points in 4 games. It's still early, like I said last week. 1 through 3 are all within 1 win of first place. So if Reno loses, and Sacramento wins, Sacramento could be on top. So there's a lot of different things there, but it's really close still because it's still really early and there haven't been a lot of games played. I think the upcoming week will be big in deciding who will take first place and who gets to go to the playoffs. Looking at the Week 6 power rankings now, Reno sits in 8th, which is up 5 places from last week. Reno also passed Sacramento on their way to 8th. Sacramento managed to move up 1. They sit 1 spot behind Reno in 9th. I don't really understand why. I mean, power rankings, I understand that they're not standings exactly, but I don't really understand why Sacramento is there. Because Reno is 3-1 with 0 draws, and then Sacramento is 1-1-3. Sacramento is ahead of Birmingham too, who is 2-1-1, which is like Birmingham has more wins. Why are they not in front of Sacramento? And Hartford is 4-1-0. How are they not ahead of both of Reno and Sacramento? Sacramento should be closer to, I think, LA, who sits in 22nd at 3-1-0, which is the same record that Reno's got. So I don't know why they're both not further back on the power rankings. But yeah, that's the same record as Reno. And then Tacoma sits in 22nd at 1-2-1. That's 1 spot up for them from last week. And then Portland sits in 34th at 0-3. That's no change from last week. By the end of the season, I would be surprised if Portland didn't fall into last place in the power rankings. Getting into the next game for Reno 1868 FC, Reno plays Tacoma at home. That will be this Saturday. Kickoff is set for 7:30 for that one. I know Greater Nevada Field already has the infield covered with grass. This is something that I have been avoiding talking about. I don't think there will be fans at this game this weekend. That's just going off of what the governor of Nevada said on Friday and Monday. There has been no official word from the team yet. The Raiders did announce that they won't be having any fans this season. So that was a big indicator to me that we won't have fans. The Las Vegas Lights also didn't have any fans at their game this weekend versus Reno. That doesn't mean people won't be able to attend games in the future. The rumors going around right now that I've heard from multiple people are that It might be a game by game decision, or they might decide to have fans one game and then not the next. If that's the case, there could be one game with fans and then the next without fans, and then no more than a day's notice. In my opinion, that could be bad because it's all up to the governor. All this stuff is up to the governor, and that's not necessarily bad, but I don't personally like that. So he could say yes one day and then he could say no the next day. I think at this point, especially with it being a shortened season, it should be all or nothing. I know that might suck not to go to games or to have hope of possibly going to games, or not having hope of possibly going to games, but it's like a band-aid. Just rip it off. I'd rather know now to plan ahead for the future that, hey, we're not going to games, than be at a game tomorrow and not know if I'm going to be able to go to the next one. Because somebody else is going to tell me that I can't go, or the stadium's like, you can't go anymore. That's just my thought on the matter. I probably won't be talking about it too much more after the team breaks their silence on the issue. Back to the actual game, though. Reno was supposed to play Tacoma back on July 23rd. That game was postponed. This Saturday's game is not the rescheduled game. Tacoma and Reno did play back in March. Tacoma had a 1-0 lead at the half. Reno was able to score 3 goals in the second half to win the match. Other than that, Reno is 2-0-1 versus Tacoma. Tacoma is coming off of a win in Portland. Who's not winning in Portland right now? Come on. I think Reno just needs to continue to do what they did in Portland and Las Vegas. Keep the energy up, create scoring chances, give the ball to Christiano Francois. Reno has been playing solid in net. I think that will continue this weekend. Something Reno can do is not let Tacoma score first. Tacoma probably have some confidence going into this match. They probably have some momentum from their win in Portland that they're trying to carry over, and they're looking to take that top spot in Group A. A win here would do that for them. A loss for either Reno or Tacoma could put them out of a playoff spot. Of course, that depends on how Sacramento does this weekend. Tacoma has plenty to be motivated about. They have plenty of momentum. They can't just be written off for this match. However, Reno has all of the same things going for them. And Reno has shown they can hold a 1-goal lead for a long period of time. They just showed that they can do that in Vegas. Even with fatigue setting in, they were able to hold on to that 1-goal lead. This might come down to being a battle of keepers. Combined, the Tacoma goalkeeping has faced 29 shots. They have only conceded 8 shots. Reno's keepers have faced 18 shots and have only conceded 3 goals. By those stats, Reno has the advantage in goalkeeping and defending. However, come game day, I think this could be a battle of the keepers. I think it might be because both teams have really good score or really good offenses. So key players for Reno: Christiano Francois, obviously. He has been the offensive threat Reno needed. In 4 games, he has 3 goals. He has had 6 shots, 4 on target. He's 3 for 4 in the back of the net, which isn't bad. His speed has been a key factor in how he's been able to impact games. If he can keep it up on Saturday, that would be good. I don't see why he won't be able to put a few in the back of the net if he can continue to do what he's been doing. Foster Langsdorff, he has 1 goal on 3 shots. I expect him to be a sub in this match. He's good at finding space and bringing energy off of the bench later in games, which is nice to see. Eric De La Cerda, he's been in net for the last 2 games back to back. He's made 8 saves on 9 shots. He has a 88.9% success rate. He's got the clean sheet in he got the clean sheet in Las Vegas. So we'll see what he does, or if he's in net. If he's in net, it'll be good. Either way, I like both our keepers, so it doesn't really matter who's in net. I think we're gonna win. If it comes down to a keeper battle, I don't really care who's in net. Both our keepers are really good. For Tacoma, Alec Diaz. He has 4 goals in 3 appearances, 2 goals in Portland. He is Tacoma's top offensive threat. Jesus Perez. He's one of only 4 players to play all 5 games for Tacoma. He had 5 shots, or he has had 5 shots. 4 of those have been on target. 2 of those have been goals. And then Christian Herrera. He has played in 3 games. He's faced 14 shots. He's saved 11 of those shots. He's only allowed 3 goals, and his success rate is 78.6. I expect him to be in net for Tacoma. Looking at the possible starting 11 for Reno, the starting 11 for Reno should look like what it has the last 2 games. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. In goal, I think it's going to be Eric De La Cerda. On defense, I think it'll be Brent Richards with the captain armband, Sam Gleedle, Tony Alfaro, Thomas Janjigian, and then in midfield, Sergio Rivas, Tucker Bone, Kevin Partita, Benji Kikanovic, and Christiano Francois. The lone forward being Corey Herzog. Looking at the player of the week now, this week's player of the week is going to the man who played 180 minutes, scored 2 goals this week, and had the cross on the set piece to Brent Richards to win the game in Las Vegas. The USL Championship Player of the Week, his nickname is the Cheetah. Christiano Francois is the All-For City Player of the Week. He was the obvious choice. It was hard not to pick him. Without him, Reno might not have won either of those games this week. He did get robbed, though, of the goal of the week. I think his goal in Portland should have been the goal of the week. However, it is understandable picking Brent's goal because that was an amazing effort from him. However, I do think that Cristiano got robbed. Looking at some upcoming games, Reno's playing Tacoma on Saturday. Reno will be playing Tacoma the following Wednesday, and then Reno will be rounding out the homestand versus Portland the Saturday after that. Then Reno hits the road to play San Diego. Other Group A games that are coming up is after Reno, Tacoma heads to Las Vegas next Wednesday. Sacramento will be in Portland on Saturday. Then Sacramento comes to Reno the following Wednesday. Looking at other teams now, the San Jose Earthquakes were eliminated from the MLS tournament this last weekend. They lost 4-1 on Saturday to Minnesota. And now their season is done. Congrats on them for getting as far as they did. It's a tournament, so it doesn't mean much, and it's not really hard to get to where they got, I don't think. I think they would have had to win all of like a handful of games just to get to where they got, so I don't think too much about it. But that's it for our other teams this week. Getting into the eUSL wrapped up its regular season this past weekend. I remained in last in like almost the entire league, or I think it was the entire PlayStation League. I came in last. Pretty much the whole season I was in last, so it's not really a shock that I fell into last place at the end of the season. I wasn't able to win my game this last weekend. I didn't get to win any of my games this season, actually. I feel like I did better this last weekend with my last eUSL game. I was playing the sixth place player in the PlayStation West. The fact that he didn't score 10 goals on me means that I played better, or he was just not playing where he should be. Um, yeah, he had already secured his playoff spot prior to this match. Going into this match, I just wanted to play competitively. I think I did that for the most part. I kept him out of my net for most of the first half. I even got the block on a PK. I believe my goalie blocked it, and then it hit the post and came out. It was 1-0 until after the 70th minute, which I consider good. Um, when he went up by 2, I was like, screw it. I'm not getting any chances, which I wasn't at that point in the game, so I kind of like gave up. I do that way too much. The third goal, I really did try to stop, but his player was open in the box with a through ball and a one-touch shot. There was nothing I could do. The game was already over by that point anyway. It was like the 88th minute when he scored that goal. Um, he did score one more goal in extra time. At that point, I was like, I'll just let him score. I don't care anymore. Moving forward, I will have updates about the playoffs. The playoffs will be going on for the next couple weeks. And then I will be going into the lowest level next season. I believe that will be League One. I have been training a lot more. I will be setting up some kind of better training situation. I really want to challenge myself to get better this season, this upcoming season. And then I don't think I will be being promoted next season. However, I want to be in the middle of the group playing competitively. I think next season starts in September, if I'm right. And then the league is moving to 3-month seasons, so the seasons will restart like every 3 months. That's all I have for today. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, share, or whatever. If you enjoyed this, thanks.